Welcome to the Sawyer Center, ladies and gentlemen. We've hoped you've had a good helping of that Thanksgiving turkey because it's time for some more SNU basketball here on SNUathletics.com.
Jeff Harris gets some contact there, going deep left. It's going. And that ball is history.
Clock down to 10. They're looking for the alley-oop, but Waylon Newton.
Yeah, with the shot. And
What a goal.
Swung on, hit hard. Sam Smith going back. It's out of here. Berlin set Bowie. Gets down for the kill. Courtney Bowie.
Abby Boyd going to take a three. Yes, sir.
Disney inside the box at the top.
Goal! It's over! The Crimson Storm have won!
Welcome to the Sawyer Center, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Hale in the booth for you today, and we are getting ready for a wonderful GAC matchup between the Southern Nazarene University Crimson Storm and the Harding Bisons visiting us from Searcy, Arkansas. Southern Nazarene will look to extend their winning streak up to 3 games and get their first conference win and play of the season as they face off against Harding, who is, by the way, number 1 in the conference in the GAC at this current moment, undefeated at 2-0. The Crimson Storm are coming off their second straight win after beating Rogers State 70-62, and on the road against Midwestern State 89-82 here at Sawyer Center. SNU has shot the ball well the past 2 games as they have shot 43.8% from the field. The Storm have also shot the ball well from beyond the arc in the last 2 games, 20 of 44 for 45.5% from beyond the three-point line. A lot of that comes from a lot of great play coming from Callie Mason. In the last game against Midwestern State, Callie Mason led the charge for the Crimson Storm. Mason had a career-high 26 points and a career-high 9 rebounds, almost getting that double-double. Mason, Adrian Berry, Rachel Dorneman, and Candace Freeman all scored in double digits that night, combining for 65 points and 26 rebounds for the Crimson Storm. Berry had 16 points and 4 rebounds for the Storm, and Dorneman notched 11 points and added 7 rebounds of her own, and Freeman scored 12 points and tallied 6 rebounds. Harding is coming off a 76-54 loss to number 18 in the country, Drury. The Panthers held the Bison to 31% shooting from the field, so great defense being displayed by the Drury Panthers. Drury also used the help of 10 three-pointers to get the win on the home court in Springfield, and thus you see why they are ranked so highly in the country. Heading into the matchup with Harding, Southern Nazarene looks to pick up a game in the all-time series against the Bison, which Harding actually leads 9-2. I mean, it's been all Bison mainly in this entire series since SNU joined the GAC just a few years ago. Harding won both meetings last season with a 70-51 victory in Searcy and an 80-62 win here in the Sawyer Center. In both games, the Storm struggled to shoot the ball as they shot 35% of the first meeting and 31.3% in the second. SNU was also out-rebounded in both games by a combined total of 85.74. Southern Nazarene is 1-4 against the Bison at home. It's going to be a fun night. You got me as your host, and it's going to be a great day for some SNU basketball. And we will go over the GAC standings and take a look at other things that are happening here on campus at SNU when we come back here to SNUathletics.com after a short break. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Before I go more in depth into the game that's going on here in the Sawyer Center, I want to take a minute and go ahead and brag about our SNU volleyball team, who is the first team in SNU history to win a conference championship tournament in Division II of the NCAA. Congratulations to those young ladies. They are actually in St. Paul, Minnesota tonight, and a game that will start at the exact same time as our men's game, following right after here, so you can switch in between SNUathletics.com and ConcordiaSt.Paul.com and catch up with the match over there. That's right, the SNU Crimson Storm volleyball team is going up against the number 1 in the country, Concordia St. Paul Golden Bears tonight, and it's going to be a fun matchup. SNU's first ever game in Division II championship playoff history, going up against a very, very good Concordia team who I do not believe has lost a national championship opening round game thus far in their career. I do believe they've won 7 national championships, the Golden Bears have, from the years 2007 to 2013, and still reign as one of the more elite teams in the country. So we want to wish our SNU volleyball team the best of luck tonight over there in Minnesota. Shifting focus back here to the Sawyer Center, the Crimson Storm going up against the Harding Bisons. Looking at the GAC conference standings, Harding is at the top. SNU's opponent for today at 2-0 in the conference, 4-1 overall. Followed swiftly behind them is Ouachita, Southeastern Oklahoma State, Henderson State. All of those teams are undefeated in conference championships so far this young season. Behind them at 1-1 are teams such as Arkansas Tech, Arkansas Monticello, Southwestern Oklahoma State, and Southern Arkansas, all boasting 1-1 records right there in that middle of the pack. And right there at the bottom, without a win thus far, Southern Nazarene leads that group, even though they actually have the second best winning percentage at 500. Well, take that back. They have the best winning percentage at 500 and 2-2. Behind them is Oklahoma Baptist at 3-4, and according to my packet here, they are eligible for the GAC Conference Championship later this year. So that will be, or later next year, later in 2017. So that's going to be a big boost of morale for those Bisons. East Central following up the pack and bringing up the rear is Northwestern Oklahoma State, who picked up their first win of the year, winning 83-54 over Panhandle State. Other GAC action, Oklahoma Baptist absolutely stuck it to Manhattan Christian College as they took it to them 102-39 in an absolute onslaught over there in Shawnee. More in depth into this game is coming up just a couple of moments. The Bisons once again leading the conference in wins thus far, with number 1 the GAC. That could change tonight, as well as a lot of other things. SNU looking for its first win in conference this year. However, they are on a hot streak of winning 2 games in a row against Rogers State in Midwestern State as they welcome the Mustangs into the Sawyer Center. Looking out for the Bisons today, Sydney Layrock is the leader of this team. That she leads all overall scoring as at 12.6 points average a game. She averages 5 rebounds as well. She is 16 of 20 at 80% from the free throw line. Impressive from it. And she's hitting just a little bit from beyond side of the arc at 23.8%. Putting forth some big numbers there, Sydney Layrock will lead the Bison onto the floor. In terms of rebounds, though, that belongs to Carolyn Hogue. Excuse me. She's only hit one three-pointer thus far. I don't think she'll be taking very many more of those. She's 77.8% from the free throw line. And in terms of rebounds, she owns a 9.2 average in that department. And she's bringing up the rear in terms of scoring with 12.2 on the season. Another Bison name to watch out for is number 25, Riley Rose. She's hitting 53.8% from beyond the arc. Only shot 4 free throws thus far, making 2 of them, missing the other 2 at a 500 even. And hitting 9 points a game. So with those numbers, she's telling me that she's hitting at least 3 3-pointers a game. A weapon that the Bison will go ahead and try to use against the Crimson Storm. Haug is the big forward at 6'1". She's a sophomore out of Little Rock, Arkansas, and is actually a transfer from the University of Nebraska at Omaha. Riley Rose, 5'7" sophomore out of Searcy, hometown native to Harding. Also another forward bringing up some more size for the Bison is number 23, Chelsea Heidebrecht. She's a forward, 5'11" sophomore out of Lawton, Oklahoma, so just a little bit south of here in Bethany. But enough about the opposing team. Let's move on to your hometown heroes, the SNU Crimson Storm. Leading the way, of course, is number 5, Abby Boyd, who has just been lights out for the Crimson Storm. 36 from beyond the arc. Trust me, she'll be making a whole lot more of those. Only missing 2 free throws thus far, 83.3% from the line, and averaging 13.8 points a game. So Abby Boyd will be able to light up the scoreboard, and they will need her to light up the scoreboard as we continue on in this young season. Other players to watch for the Crimson Storm is number 10, Adrian Berry. Adrian Berry is also 10 of 12 from, 6 of 9 from the free throw stripe. 8 for 20 with a 40% hitting range from beyond the arc, and is garnering 12.5 points a game. And now we come up to Callie Mason. Callie Mason is a new face to the Crimson Storm. I do believe that she is, in fact, right here, she is actually a senior. So Callie Mason is getting a lot more playing time to the Crimson Storm offense. She's a 5'9" guard, senior out of Bethany, hometown hero for the Crimson Storm. Looking for some more stats right here, Danielle Gaddis is one of the starters for the Crimson Storm. She has not hit anything from the charity stripe tonight. 0 for 6 thus far, a rarity for Danielle Gaddis, who was averaging some pretty impressive numbers from the charity stripe. 3.3 points a game. The stats don't measure up to what an impact that she makes. She is a spiritual and an influential leader on the court for the Crimson Storm. At number 42, Rachel Dorneman. She's the big man for the Crimson Storm tonight. 13 of 19 from the free throw line and bringing down 7 rebounds a game. She leads the SNU Crimson Storm in that department. And she is also garnering 13.3 points a game, matching Callie Mason's numbers. Both those averaging at 13.3 points a game. The Crimson Storm are averaging 73.5 points a game to their opponent 76. So that number will have to change over the course of the year. And we are just about 3.5 minutes away from tip-off. And when we come back, we will have the starting lineups for your Crimson Storm and the Harding Bisons when we come back to SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SouthernNazareneUniversity.com. Just going on to the starting lineups for the Harding University Bisons. Number 3, Fallon Miller. Number 14, Andrea Haney. Number 21, Sydney Layrock. And number 25, Riley Rose. And finally, number 30, Carolyn Hogue, leading the way for the Bisons. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineups for your Southern Nazarene University women's basketball team.
Please welcome to the floor the starting lineup of the Southern Nazarene University Crimson Storm. Starting at guard, 5'5" senior from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Number 5, Abby Boyd, a 5'5" senior guard from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Teenage guard, 5'11" sophomore from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Number 10, Adrian.
A 5'11" sophomore guard out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Adrian Berry.
5'9" senior from Bethany, Oklahoma. Number 11,
Number 11, Callie Mason. She's a 5'9" senior guard out of Bethany, Oklahoma.
from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Number 23, Danielle.
Number 23, Danielle Gaddis. She's a 5'7" guard senior out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And finally, number 42, Rachel Dorneman. She's a 6'1" forward sophomore out of Goddard, Kansas. The Crimson Storm are coached by Derek Doris. He's the fifth year as a coach of the Crimson Storm and a Southern Nazarene graduate, class of 1996. Leading the way for the Harding Bisons is head coach Tim Kirby. And we are ready here in the Sawyer Center to get things started. Dorneman to jump. Get this thing underway. She's going to be going up against number 30, Carolyn Hogue. And Hogue will win the tip. And we are off and running here in the Sawyer Center. Andrea Haney's going to bring it up, and now the Bison will work it around, trying to find something. Almost got a steal there for the Crimson Storm. Looking around, trying to look inside. Can't find anything open. Leaves her all alone. Leads one out, rattles around, and gets an offensive rebound for the Bisons. That's number 3, Phelan Miller. Shot clock will restart, and right in there to Hogue. Gets a little jumper, lays it in for the first points of the game. And now Abby Boyd will go to work. Point guard for the Crimson Storm brings it up, almost loses it, tries to dribble behind her back, gives it off to Gaddis. Now she'll drive inside. Here comes Berry. Looking inside the lane, can't find anything open. She's got to get out of the lane soon. Throws it away as Gaddis and Boyd were preoccupied and couldn't quite find their positions, and that's a mental error for the Crimson Storm. Gives a turnover to Harding. And here come the Bison again with Haney bringing it up. Boyd bringing on the pressure, screen. Works it around, Boyd all over him. Right in there, can't quite get it. Great defense by Dorneman. Shot taken up by number 21, Sydney Layrock. Can't quite get it to go. And now Boyd's in a corner. Dorneman on the elbow, and she's going to get called for a travel. Dorneman's usually very, very good at right there in that elbow spot. That's her favorite shot in the world. However, when she doesn't get it, she tries to do a little bit too much in the lane. And now a great drive by the Bison. Lays it in. Number 14, Andrea Haney. Bison up 4-0 over the Crimson Storm. And now a three taken by number 11, Mason. Goes out. Now the Bison will look to add to their lead. Haney again. Haney now with 4 points. And the Bison putting on terrific defense. They've scored the first 6 points here tonight. Mason tried to drive in and dish it out. Fouled in the process. That's the first foul of the game. And that's going to be on Haney. So Haney is not only the lead scorer, and she now holds the game's only foul. Looking around, can't quite find anything. Boyd tries to find something, dribbles up, tries to lay it in. Too much. Hogue with the rebound. And here come the Bison once again, trying to add to it. Already commanding lead. Over the head. And swish right through it for 3. That's number 3, Phelan Miller. So 3 for 3. And now a timeout by Coach Derek Doris. And this has just been a very hot start for Harding. A couple of mental errors by the Crimson Storm and a couple of shots that they didn't need to take. Leads to Harding putting the gas on and getting a 9-0 lead to start the ball game. Just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, that this game is not the only game going on today. The boys for the Crimson Storm, the men's basketball team, will be on shortly after this game is concluded, about 30 minutes later. And I do believe that will be Connor McKenzie and Tanner Stiles having the call for that one. Also, don't forget that at the same time the men's start, the women's volleyball team for the Crimson Storm will also be on ConcordiaSt.Paul.athletics.com for some live video for their regional matchup against the Concordia St. Paul Golden Bears tonight at 7:30, the exact same time as the men's tips off. So be sure to keep up with both games, flip back and forth on that laptop or whatever you're watching it on. Boyd brings it back up for the Crimson Storm. We're back underway. Crimson Storm trying to find some more offense, trying to find some more movement. She's all alone. Mason finally gets it off to Dorneman. Couldn't quite get it to go there at the charity stripe. And now Harding looking to add on. Looking around, can't quite find anything open. Down low. Great defense for the Crimson Storm. Going to tie up the ball and give the arrow to the Crimson Storm. So the Bison looking down low to Hogue. And she got tied up by Dorneman and Boyd. So now the Crimson Storm, they can't quite find a good shot. That one's batted away. Miller once again with the defense. Crimson Storm have yet to really get it into the lane or under the basket, which is what they would certainly like to do. They would like to get Boyd going on the three-pointer and get Dorneman working down low, or at least give her some shots to get some offensive rebounds, put him back up. Gaddis driving in, stops at the elbow, gives it to Dorneman. To Barry, drives in. Gaddis. Now she drives in. Maybe she has a shot. Almost gets the shot. She gets the shot up before the shot clock expires. Just hits off the back iron. And another great shot off the glass. That's number 21, Sydney Layrock. Now the Bison are all the way up to double digits before the Crimson Storm even get 1 point. Now the Bison player is all alone over there. Once again to Hogue. That time she doesn't get it to go. Tried to kiss it off the glass, but Dorneman tried to put on some defense. So Gaddis trying to work the offense now, trying to find a shot right there at the elbow. Will she get it to go? No, she will not. Now down low. Will she get it to go? Yes, she will. That's Layrock. So now Mason trying to work it in. They've tried to find Dorneman right in there, but great defense taken by number 30, Carolyn Hogue. So Hogue working both offense and defense. Now working in with Layrock. Great defense to start. Second effort gets it to go and one. So a 15-0 run by the Bisons. And that's also the score of the game. Bisons 15, Crimson Storm 0. That'll send Layrock to this charity stripe to add one more, which he does. So the Crimson Storm just trying their darndest just to get a point on the board, try to get to work. Driving in, try to lay one up. She does. That's number 24, Sydney Carolina. Puts the first points of the game for the Crimson Storm on the board. Now Carolina playing some defense out there for the three. Bounces off the back iron. Offensive rebound, and it's taken away by Gaddis. Almost another turnover, and there is another turnover. She tried to get it to Boyd, and it just went behind her. Getting ready to sub in for the Crimson Storm is number 3, Maria Williams. Another three, this time by Layrock, doesn't get it to go, and Gaddis will get the rebound. Here we go again with Carolina bringing it up. Gaddis with the drive. Will she get it to go? Doesn't quite roll in. And it's going to stay on SNU's side. So Barry will take a break and bring in Williams. So Williams having some trouble calling Wolf as her teammates give her some help, and she's going to be sent to the line. So Williams, thanks to her teammates, giving her some great communication, almost gives up another turnover. Instead, turns it into an opportunity to get some more points on the board for the Crimson Storm as they make their first trip to the charity stripe tonight. First one is good. 1 for 1 for the Crimson Storm tonight. Excuse me, that's Mariah Williams, not Caroline, excuse me. Mariah Williams went up for the attempt. And she sinks both of them. So now the Crimson Storm down 4 to 16, but now trying to get a little bit more momentum as they move forward in this game, trying to dig themselves out of the hole they've already dug for themselves. Harding looking to add on to the lead, and there's a battle going on in the lane. Looking inside, getting inside, getting it off the glass and rolling in. That's number 33 for the Bisons, Sydney Jones. And a steal by the Bison. They're on a fast break. Look inside. Get it, and one. A great pass. A great pass for the Bisons. That's number 13, Peyton Paget. Down to number 25, Riley Rose, who gets so Paget gets the assist. And Rose will get the and one opportunity. She's able to get it to go. Now the Crimson Storm looking for any momentum at all. This time it's Carolina. Gets it to go. Doesn't quite get it. Well, gets it her own rebound with the assistance of, I believe that's Freeman. Yes, it is. And the ball's on the floor. And they're going to get the travel. So it's going to stay with the Crimson Storm. Now trying to find something under the goal. Looks outside. Thought about taking a three. Now to Gaddis, driving in. Kicks it back out. Doesn't get her to go. Here's the tip. No, ma'am. It's not going in that time. Once again, great defense. Crimson Storm trying to find something to work, and it just doesn't. Finally gets the foul after multiple attempts. And that foul's actually going to go up against Sydney Carolina, number 24. That's her first of the evening. And Rose looking around. A three for the Bison. Rattles out. So about 2:13 left in the first quarter. Another foul goes up against the Crimson Storm. Gets her all alone. That's Layrock. She gets it to go. Number 21, Sydney Layrock from downtown. Brings the Harding lead up to 20 points, 24-4. No, there's a three by the Crimson Storm. That rattles out. Number 3, Maria Williams trying to get one to go. Just wouldn't stay in the hoop. And another foul and an and one, and the Bisons are just having their way. It's Hogue again who gets it to go, and another opportunity for the Bisons to extend their already commanding lead, and it rattles out. 26-4 is the lead. That's going to be a two-shot if it goes. It doesn't. Freeman with the extra effort to get the ball back, which he does, trying to find something else. Freeman from the baseline. Bounces off the front of the rim. And another layup opportunity on the fast break for the Bisons. At this point, you'd think that Coach Doris is just going to let the bleeding continue until the end of the first quarter, so they can get just a free timeout at the end of the period. There's a drive, trying to get it to go, and she draws the foul, which I believe was her intention to begin with. That was number 12 for the Crimson Storm, Madeline Schrepfer. So Schrepfer will go to the line. First one bounces off the back iron of the rim. So things will set up for a second attempt. And for the Crimson Storm is number 20, Irene Perez. Second one is off the front of the rim, so one too far and one too not enough. As Schrepfer is 0 from the line tonight. Just about 40 seconds left to go in this first period. Rose looking around, trying to find underneath. Great defense by the Crimson Storm as they get a block as she was going up. That was Jenny Nadeau. Crimson Storm unable to capitalize. Here comes Rose again. This clock ticks down to inside 10 seconds. Nadeau can't quite corral it in with one hand. And the Crimson Storm will get an opportunity with the probable last possession of the first quarter. 9 seconds to go. And it's going to be number 12, Schrepfer, who's going to bring it up. They'll be looking around, trying to find anything working. Gets a shot in that little mid-range, unable to get there, and that's how the first quarter will end. So after one quarter, it's been all Harding here in the Sawyer Centers. They lead the Crimson Storm 28-4. When we come back, we'll have the second quarter, as well as other news from around the other news about Crimson Storm Athletics here when we come back to SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com, and start of the second 10 minutes. It's been all Harding University here in the Crimson Storm's home court. Right inside. Will she get to go? No. Just rims out. Second attempt. Doesn't get to go either, but she'll go to the line. That's number 30, Carolyn Hogue. And just an apology, ladies and gentlemen, it's not Maria Williams, it's Mariah Williams. So I will take care of that from henceforth. The Crimson Storm student section finally making its way into the Sawyer Center as it's Lumberjack night, so everyone's wearing that flannel. Second free throw is no good, and she's ripping it away. That's Layrock who will tie it up and give the ball back to SNU. The Crimson Storm looking for anything to build on. Shrepford drives into a corner and all by herself. Shrepford gets it back, dribbles right into the defense, and draws another foul, and she will go to the line again, try to redeem herself from her first trip. So Shrepford steps up to the line. First one is good, and that will be her first free throw make of the day as she missed her first two. Misses this next one, and she is 1 for 4 tonight. And now Harding utilizing that speed, almost got a steal. And Layrock holds on for it just a little bit too long, takes one little too much of a step. That's a travel for the Bisons, gives the ball back to SNU. Now Shrepford taking over the point guard duties from Abby Boyd, who is about to actually come in. Speak of the devil. Actually gets that one swatted away on the drive. So the Crimson Storm trying to drive to the basket, but the size and athleticism of the Bison is not letting them do much underneath the basket. Abby Boyd re-enters the game and takes out Shrepford. And an awkward pass gives the ball back to Abby Boyd, and you can tell the Bisons have Boyd's number as they know what kind of damage she can do. Mariah Williams can't keep her footing, and another turnover by the Crimson Storm. Now the Bison's looking around, trying to get a shot inside, dishes it back out, and gets the drive to go with Hogue. Driving to the basket, trying to make something happen here is Williams. Now Boyd into the lane, dishes it out, and a walk by number 20, Irene Perez, who had a clear line of sight to the basket. Hesitated for just a little bit, and it is going to go back over to Harding. Bring it back down for SNU is Boyd, who tried to get it to Dorneman and dishes it right back to herself, and it's going back to Harding, but she had a clear layup and missed an opportunity there. So it's all low, and then almost gets another N1 is Hogue, and she's had 2 N1s tonight. Almost got her third, but it just rattled around that edge of the rim and rattled out. So she'll be sent to the line for 2 shots. Sends the first one in. Makes it 34-5 in favor of the Bisons. A couple of stats for you here. The Crimson Storm have only had 3 folks get on the board tonight. That's Williams, Schrepfer, and Carolina. Schrepfer and Williams each have 2, Schrepfer with 1. She will miss the second free throw attempt. Dorneman on the elbow, looking around. Does she get one off? She does, and it will rattle home, and SNU finally gets another basket. And Dorneman will put her name into the stat book. All alone for 3. Off the glass and too much. Now Boyd for 3. That bounces out. Almost got the rebound is Perez. Another 3 for Harding. Too much. And that's a foul on number 14, Haney. I believe that's her second. So Perez will take a seat and bring in Mason. Looking out. Harding right here for you. Hogue and Layrock each have 10 points already in this ball game. So they're just laying it on the Crimson Storm all alone. Another shot right there from Mason. Couldn't quite get it to go. And it's going to go to Harding. And the Crimson Storm faithful are voicing their displeasure. So Haney's going to bring it back up again, trying to get another drive. Layrock thought about taking a shot, not going to. Tries to skip pass. Boyd almost got to it. Leaves it wide open for Rose to take another advantage and put another 2 points on the board for Harding. Gaddis now back on the floor right now for the Crimson Storm. She tries to get one to go. Gives it to Dorneman. And she is going to draw a foul. That's going to be against number 33, Sydney Jones. Trying to find anything. Looking for Dorneman, but Jones was all over that and tips that away into Harding hands. Looking around, it's Rose for 3. Can't get it to go. The Crimson Storm would love to cut this lead in half before halftime, so they have something to do. Loses control. That was Adrian Berry who lost control of the basketball and is a steal to Harding. Gets that one to roll in is Haney. Haney just adds to her total. That was her 6th point. Dorneman on the elbow where she loves it so much. Gaddis driving in. Tries to get up and under the basket. Draws a foul. And that's going to be a timeout taken by Coach Derek Doris. Derek Doris. And we'll step aside and take another timeout with him here on SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Gaddis hits her first free throw of 2 as she was sent to the line by a foul earlier by the Bison before the timeout taken by Coach Doris. She gets the second one to go as well. And those are 2 first free throws of the year. She is now 2 for 8. So Gaddis finally ends that dry spell. We're just halfway through with this second quarter as we approach halftime. A 3 by Harding, doesn't get it to go. Another shot clock. And it's offensive foul against Jones. Leaning into Bell. So now the Crimson Storm would love to get up to 20 points before halftime. Tries to get it to go. Can't find anything. Abby Boyd looking around. Barry drives into the lane, gets it to float up in there for 2 more points for the Crimson Storm. That's Barry's first 2 of the night. Finally got some offense rolling for the Crimson Storm, and the Bison bring it back up, trying to add to their already commanding lead. In the lane is Hogue, who gets it to go and responds. Brings the Harding Bisons up to 40. And now Boyd, a little bit of trouble, threads the needle to Freeman. Now Gaddis in the lane. Outside for 3. Can't let it go. That was Mason with the attempt. A little bit too short. Inside the lane again is Layrock. Floats it up in there for 2 more. And now Barry drives in, gets her next 2. So Barry, 2 straight possessions, 2 straight baskets. 2 drives in a row, 4 points for the Crimson Storm. The Crimson Storm trying to step up defensively. Looking outside. Out for Layrock, tries for another 3-pointer, can't get it to go. And now Boyd bringing it up, trying to drive in. Almost got a double dribble right there. That's right in front of the Harding bench. That's what they want. It's swatted that out of the sky, but draws the foul. That was Mason. And that was, I believe, against number 13, Peyton Paget. Mason gets that one to go. Layrock and Rose will take a break, and in comes number 3, Phelan Miller, and number 1, Jenny Nadu. Misses the next one, and here comes the Bison again as we are just over 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Haney looking around, can't find anything. Look, now she's stuck. Miller trying to get it to drive. Stolen away by Mason. Tries to get one to go. Boyd for 3. Off the back of it. Rebound by Barry. And they're going to call tie ball and give the arrow to the Bisons. Huge opportunity for the Crimson Storm. Couldn't quite capitalize. Under 2 minutes now in the second quarter. Haney driving again. Working around the perimeter. Another skip pass for 3. Off the back of the rim, and a rebound by Freeman. Now Mason will trot it back up the court. Gives it to Boyd, who is being well covered. Boyd from the elbow. Couldn't quite get it to go. It rolls around the rim and out. Number 13, Peyton Paget, has had Boyd on lockdown this entire game. And they're going to call a blocking foul against Candace Freeman. And I'm not going to agree with the refs on that one. That was a questionable call as Freeman just seemingly just had her hands by her side. Questionable call, and the Crimson Storm faithful not going to like that one either. Oh, and almost got away with a backcourt foul as well. Number 3 by the Bison. That one gets to go. That's her first points of the night. That's number 23, Chelsea Heidebrecht. Now Boyd trying to find some offensive production. She's looking around. Finds Gaddis. And Gaddis will draw the foul against the other 23, Heidebrecht. And she will go to the line. Gaddis's free throw woes for this year continue into her third attempt of the night. She misses the front end of 2. Timeout on the floor. With 39 seconds left, so we'll keep it right here on SNUathletics.com. Going over some more stats for you. Over this whole game, the Crimson Storm have scored 10 in the second quarter, 4 in the first quarter, and Harding just had their way on offense. 28 points to SNU's 4 in the first, 17 so far in the second. They lead 45-14. Crimson Storm are 14%, or just under 15% from the field, as Gaddis will go ahead and shoot the back end of an attempt, which she does get to go. 30-point game here in Bethany. The Bison, on the other hand, have shot 55% from the field thus far. Almost got a steal that time. I believe that was Barry. It was. Looking inside. Now back out. Rose for 3. Off the front. And the Crimson Storm couldn't quite decide who would get that. Ends up being Freeman, and a timeout on the floor right there as An injured Crimson Storm player just kind of on the floor. I think she got bopped in the face, and I do believe that there's a little bit of blood right there. Or I could be seeing things, but that was Danielle Gaddis who got bopped on the nose, and she was holding her face just a little bit. I do believe that she'll be okay. She checks over there with the trainer. Coming in to replace Gaddis is number 20, Perez. And we are at the 10-second mark here in the second quarter. And once again, it's Schrepfer bringing it up for the Crimson Storm on the last possession of the quarter, trying to find something. Perez can't quite hang on to it. She's going to have to get it to go, and the Crimson Storm aren't able to get a shot off. So in the second quarter, similar to the first quarter, it's been all Harding as they lead the Crimson Storm by a score of 45-15 after one half. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll have the stats from that first half as well as other news from SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. So after 2 quarters, the SNU Crimson Storm are having a bit of trouble with the Harding Bisons, who lead the Crimson Storm by a score of 45-15 after 2, and have just had their way with the Crimson Storm in the first half, outscoring the Crimson Storm big time, 28-4 in the first quarter. And in the second quarter, just about to pull these up right here, in the second quarter, the Bison outscored the Crimson Storm 17-11. So it's just been all Bison here tonight. Looking at player stats for the Bisons. Leading the way with 12 points each is Layrock and Hogue with 12 points each. Behind them is number 7 points is Rose, Haney with 6, Miller with 3, Heidebrecht with 3, and Jones with 2. Also adding to it, Hogue has 1 steal, and Paget actually has 3 steals on the night for the Bisons. From the free throw line, the Bisons are 4 for 7, 57.1% from the field, or from the free throw line. Field goal percentage, they are 54.3% from the field. Turning over to the Crimson Storm, hasn't been going the Crimson Storm's way. Leading the way with 4 points is Barry. Behind her is Gaddis with 3, and a couple of players with 2 points. It just hasn't been going very well for the Crimson Storm, as they add up to 15 points each, 4 in the first quarter, 11 in the second. From the free throw line, the Crimson Storm can hold their heads high about something. They are 7 of 12 from the free throw line, 58% from the charity stripe. However, their field goal percentage will need to pick up as big time as we go into the second half. 14.8% from the field. So the Crimson Storm having some trouble shooting. A stark contrast from the team that we've been seeing the past 2 games, who defeated Rogers State and Midwestern State. I believe I said it in the pregame. Crimson Storm were shooting 45.5% from the field in those 2 games. Just a little bit of another update as we approach 5 minutes until the second half. The Crimson Storm volleyball team is still set to go on, and Concordia St. Paul against the Concordia St. Paul Golden Bears here at 7:30 Central Time. Concordia St. Paul, the #1 team in the country and a powerhouse, one of the elite teams in the nation. Crimson Storm will look to play Cinderella and Spoiler tonight as they take on the Golden Bears and enter their very first NCAA tournament game. So we are just about 4 minutes away from the start of the second half. Once again, the men will follow the Crimson Storm, and they will also take on the Harding Bisons here in the Sawyer Center. As soon as I am done, 30 minutes after, Tanner Stiles and Connor McKenzie will have that call. Once again, I remind you to support all Crimson Storm teams. You can find this game and the men's game coming up on SNUathletics.com. However, if you want to go watch that volleyball game, that comes on at 7:30 tonight, same time as the men's game, and that is on ConcordiaStPaulAthletics.com. That will give you a link to NCAAathletics.com where you can go and find the live stream there. 3 minutes and 3.5 minutes left until we are ready to kick off the second half of the Harding Bisons and the Crimson Storm when we come back to SNUathletics.com. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. We are ready to get it started here in the second half in the Sawyer Center. Crimson Storm down by 30 points to the Harding Bison. But the Crimson Storm will go ahead and start out with the ball. Gaddis once again recovering from that bop in the face. And Boyd will bring it up. And once again, the Bisons have just had Abby Boyd's number as they try to get something going on offense with a drive by Mason, but couldn't quite get it to go. It's blocked out, and last touch by the Crimson Storm. Give it back to the Bisons. Rose looking around. Now back to Haney. Haney putting a move on Gaddis. Can't quite put it forward. Third three. That's Phelan. It's Phelan Miller for the Bisons who puts 3 on the board, and that's how the Bison will open up the second half. Boyd has not had much production as the Bisons have just had her number. Dorneman from the elbow. Too short. Gets her own rebound in the lane. Barry for 3. Almost gets it to roll in, bounces out. And now back to the Bisons, and it's going to be Rose who brings it up, tries to find it, and a kick ball on Abby Boyd. Stuck her leg out, tried to stop the pass. Now looking around the corner, and there's going to be a charge against Abby. There's going to be a charge. Abby Boyd drawing the foul against number 3, Phelan Miller, who sunk that three-pointer just not too long ago. Crimson Storm trying to find some offensive production as we head into the third quarter. And that was Barry trying to get a shot. Gaddis gets the rebound, flips it up into the middle of the backboard, gets it to go for the first points by the Crimson Storm in the third quarter. Gaddis gets on the board, and now back to the Bisons trying to get something going. Almost got it to go that time, and that's going to be a tie-up ball. Gives the ball to the Bisons. It was Layrock who had an opportunity to score an easy bucket, rattled away under the basket. Rose dribbling aside for 3. Haney off the front end of the basket. That time it is going to be Hogue who gets it to go. Gets the rebound and puts it back up. And now Boyd looking around. Boyd finally with some space. Gets a shot on the elbow. Gets it to roll. Finally, Abby Boyd gets some space and does not disappoint. However, neither does Hogue, who puts on another bucket down low. And now Boyd trying to get another drive. Dishes it out to Mason. And it's easily taken away by Haney. Layrock underneath the basket, too easy. And now we have a Crimson Storm player down on the floor, and she is holding that back. That's Mason down there, who is slow to get up as she was holding her back. She was holding that back right down by the tailbone. First to be there is her teammate, number 5, Abby Boyd. There's some serious concern going on with the assistant coaches as well as head coach Derek Doris, and she is going to get up. Callie Mason will gingerly walk off to the SNU bench. Sydney Carolina, number 24, will replace Mason, who is once again limping over towards that SNU locker room. Or no, excuse me, she's just going to roll on the floor right there by that entrance for the Crimson Storm locker rooms. And we're back to the action here. Barry tries to drive into the lane, gets into the lane, flips one up, rolls out. That just takes the heart right out of any players. It's almost in, doesn't quite get it to go. Haney gets it to roll. She flips it up and in. Once again, the Bison just proving that they cannot be stopped very easily. Dorneman from the elbow, not enough, or excuse me, too much. Overshoots to the basket. Now the Bison's looking around. Haney's thinking about a three. Gonna dribble out into the lane. Finds Hogue. Gets it to go and one. That's her third and one of the night. Hogue putting it on the Crimson Storm. She brings her point total up to 18. And Dorneman will take a seat and bring in number 15, Candace Freeman. And an impressive display by the SNU students section is unable to phase Hogue, who puts the N1 in. Freeman down low, gets it to roll in, gets the drive on Hogue that time, gets the better of her. Almost finds Hogue that time as well, but just beyond her reach. Gives the ball over to SNU on the turnover. And now Carolina looking to dish and go. Freeman again finds Boyd. Gets it to go underneath the basket. Boyd moving around, finds it to go. Now put some volume into the Crimson Storm students section. Around. Hogue in the middle of the lane. Haney for three. Gets it to go. Haney quiets the crowd with a three of her own. She's left all alone there to sink one. Boyd putting on the moves. She'll draw the foul and go to the charity stripe. Boyd's first free throw, the front end, is going to hit off the back iron and go straight up out. Steps up back to the line, regathers herself, ready to hit the back end. Which she does. So no Crimson Storm players up to double digits just yet. And a bad pass is going to go, and that's going to be a backcourt violation on the Bisons. And a timeout taken on the floor. Media timeout. When we come back to SNUathletics.com, we'll step aside. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Crimson Storm looking for some more offense. Barry looking to look. Gets a shot off the front end. Carolina tries to get the rebound, but is out-muscled by the Bisons, and now they're putting on the Jets. Gets her up in the air, and they're going to get a travel. Travel against number 13, Peyton Paget. Bringing it up is number 24, Carolina. Gives it off to Boyd. Boyd with the drive, gets by the defense, and will lay one in. So now the Bison looking around, trying to find Hogue inside. They're going to draw the foul against number 15, Candace Freeman. Or excuse me, that was not Hogue on that one. That was number 33, Sydney Jones. Gets the front end to roll in for the first free throw. Second free throw is good. She's perfect on the night. Gives it off to Carolina, and Carolina will bring up the ball. Gaddis looking inside, swatted away by the Bison. Almost had a clear look at it. It was swatted away. That time it was number 1, Jenny Nato. Can't find anyone open. Under the basket. It's going to stay right here with SNU. Try to find Gaddis. It's bad away by Nato. So Nato putting in some more defensive effort. Outside for 3. Off the front, not strong enough. And the Crimson Storm having some rebounding trouble, not knowing who's got hands on the ball. Looks like a same team miscommunication for 3. Too much. And now Barry on a drive. Gets it blocked by Rose into the hands of Barry. And Rose with a great defensive play for the Bisons. So now the Bison's looking for more. Jones underneath. Going to draw the foul, and she'll go to the line for 2 more.
Foul is called on Candace Freeman.
Candace Freeman draws another one. That is Freeman's 3rd personal foul. And this is the first front end. Second attempt, rattles its way in. Now Carolina will bring it back up. Trying to find some offensive production. Trying to find Freeman inside. Doesn't take enough time and almost does away with it. Candace Freeman with another opportunity, but can't quite see what the call is there. I believe it's a call. I believe that was a warning against one of the Harding players. Here's the ball over to SNU. Try to find Freeman. Goes over to Mariah Williams, who tries to lay it in. Can't get it to go. Perez can't get the layup to go. And now a foul against Carolina. So 2 shots that could have been easy points for the Crimson Storm rattle out. And just add to the woes for the Crimson Storm on what has understandably been a rough night going up against one of the better teams in the GAC. Rose trying to put on some more on the Crimson Storm. Tries to put on a move for 3. That's Nato who puts it in. And now trying to push it up is Williams. Boyd. Boyd tries to get another floater, can't quite get it. And now Harding off and running. Can't quite get the layup to go. Next attempt, no good also, but she does draw the foul. That's number 23, Chelsea Heidebrecht, who put up a off-balance shot but draws the foul anyway for an attempt at 2. Front end gets to go. One for 1 on the night for Heidebrecht. Trying to go 2 for 2. Misses the next one. And it will go to SNU.
Crimson Storm basketball.
So Schreffer re-enters the game. Let's do some more and give SMU some much-needed offensive production. Goes off the hands of Heidebrecht. Keeps it here, puts it under the basket for the Crimson Storm. Trying to get it to Dorneman. Here's Williams. Looks underneath. There's Carolina. Gets the hook shot to go. Hook shot off the glass by Carolina puts 2 on the board for the Crimson Storm. However, Harding answers right back. That's Haney with the drive. Gets Schreffer off of her and puts up an easy 2. And now Carolina. Back to Perez. Tries to get a pass over there to Williams, who is well guarded. That was number 4, Mackenzie McNamara. So McNamara putting on some more defense. She's a big 6-foot forward junior out of North Little Rock, Arkansas. So the shot clock now down to 3. Tries to get one up, unable to do so, and it goes off of her foot while she's out of bounds. Gives it up to the Bisons as we are under 1 minute to go in the third quarter. Almost got a walk in there for Harding. A swat by Dorneman. Gives the ball over to the Crimson Storm. Shot by Williams. Gets it to go. And now it looks like now the shot clock's off, so the Bisons will milk out the rest of this clock and get the final possession of the third quarter. Up by 41 points inside the Sawyer Center. Trying to find something down to 5 seconds. Looking for a shot. Gets it to go. It's Haney. Gets it to go. And the Crimson Storm will just let that one ride off. So Haney gets one shot in for the end of the quarter. And after 3 quarters here in the Sawyer Center, after 30 minutes, it's been all Harding, who entered the second half with a 30-point lead. They now end the third quarter with a 43-point lead, building on adding 13 points on to that. So when we come back, we will have the final quarter in this one between the Bisons and the Crimson Storm when we come back to SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Entering the final 10 minutes of this game, it's going to be SNU going to bring the ball up first. Dorman finally gets one to go underneath the basket on the layup. So Dorman will put on the first 2 points for the quarter and the first 2 points for the Crimson Storm in the quarter as well. And now it's back up to Harding, who once again trying to put on some more offensive production, try to work on some more before this game is over, and Perez will draw a foul, reaching over, trying to get that one away from Jones. An off-balance shot, gets it to go. That was Chelsea Heidebrecht, who just kind of threw it up there and got it to drop into the basket. Perez by the elbow. Getting out of the lane. Schrepfer gives it to Williams. Now Williams will look for something. Carolina back to Williams. Gets on the jump stop and will draw a travel with 9 minutes to go. So now the Bison's looking for something right there in the mid portion of that little mid-range shot. Gets it to go off number 23 Heidebrecht's legs is Carolina. Just a quick look ahead to the Crimson Storm's later schedule. The entire month of December, the Crimson Storm will be in the Sawyer Center as Schrepfer will bring it up and looking for Williams. So Williams looking around and finds Carolina. So Williams for three. Finally gets it to drop. That's one of I believe that's one of SNU's first three-pointers of the night. Finally gets it to go in the fourth quarter. Like I was saying, the Crimson Storm will be in the Sawyer Center the entire month of December. That's another three attempt by Harding. Doesn't stay in, and now Dorneman looks like she's having some trouble. She got knocked in the mouth. Call an injury timeout so that Dorneman can get attended to. Brings in Freeman. So the homestead in December includes this game against Harding, and then Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, they are playing the Arkansas Tech Golden Suns at 1 o'clock here in the Sawyer Center. And then the 6th of December, we'll see the Oklahoma Christian coming to Bethany. And then they will take a 10-day break before taking on Central Oklahoma inside the Sawyer Center, and then they will all go home for a well-earned Christmas break. So a 3 by Schrepfer off the back iron. And it's going to stay with the Crimson Storm. Off the touch on the rebound attempt. The next away game for the Crimson Storm is the 5th of January at Arkansas Monticello. Caroline tries to get an off-balance shot to go. It will go off the under portion of the basket, the bottom portion of the basket. Can't quite control that one, and Schrepfer takes it away. So Schrepfer has it also taken away by herself. Now Schrepfer almost got another one. So nearly 3 steals back to back by both teams. A 3 for Harding, gets it to go. Number 4, Mackenzie McNamara. Brings the Harding total up to 78. Perez inside. Almost got it to go off the glass. Freeman couldn't quite get the rebound, and she'll draw the... That was against Perez. Thought for a moment that it might be on Freeman. Freeman is at her 3rd personal foul, and with that foul, actually brings Perez up to her 3rd personal. Bring it up for the Bison's number 15, Hannah Jamison, making her first appearance into the game. And a moving screen against Sydney Jones will give the ball to the Crimson Storm. On the court right now for the Crimson Storm is number 21, Michaela Isler. Number 12, Madeline Schrepfer. Candace Freeman. Mariah Williams. And Sydney Carolina. Williams takes a shot from the elbow, and there's a foul on the floor against Harding. So Schrepfer finds Freeman, gets it to go off the glass for a layup. So Candace Freeman wants more, and almost some steal, and there is going to be a steal. It's Schrepfer finds Williams, gets her own rebound out to Isler, and is just going to throw this one away in a backcourt violation. So an opportunity wasted by the Crimson Storm. Just under 6 minutes to go here in the Sawyer Center for the girls game. 30 minutes following this one, we'll see the boys take the court. Once again, we will be the Harding Bisons and the SNU Crimson Storm. That one will go off the Crimson Storm and leave it right here, this time under the basket for Harding. Another shot. This time it's by Nadu, who gets it to go for 2 more points. Nadu is up to 4 points on the night. Finds Williams now. A shot just a little bit inside for a 3. Almost swinging elbows right there is the Bison. So we're down to 5 minutes to go inside the Sawyer Center, and then another easy shot. There's a foul against Harding. That one is going to be against number 1, Corey Mower. as Schreffer will take it up. Trying to look around the perimeter is Carolina. Finds Schreffer inside to Freeman and will draw a foul. She going up. She'll put her on the free throw line. There's a timeout on the floor. We will take one with them with just under 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter here at SNUathletics.com. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Candace Freeman is at the free throw line. She will miss the front end of her attempt.
They're not playing good.
Second attempt also rattles away. So Candace Freeman 0 for on that attempt. And now Harding at this point trying to work in their players who don't get a whole lot of playing time, as they will get them some game experience in front of a hostile crowd that, even though the scoreboard says otherwise, they will just not go away. So in comes Harding, leading the Crimson Storm by 43 points. Skip pass. Over on the side, gets a little shot off balance. That won't go. Jones, second attempt will. Sydney Jones' second attempt does, in fact, rattle in. Bringing in number 4 is Olivia Chapman, making her first appearance in this game so far. Gets one to go. Candace Freeman again with another bucket. No Crimson Storm players up to double digits just yet. A couple of players hanging around at 7 as Mariah Williams gets the steal. Williams for 3. Misses it off the front end. And we'll get the ball back to the Bison as it goes out of bounds off Freeman's hand. So Jones tried to go up for another bucket, is fouled on the way up by Freeman. That's her 4th. Or excuse me. Just getting word that is her 5th. So Candace Freeman is done for the night. Picked up her 4th foul earlier. So she will take a seat. Candace Freeman done for the night. Ending her night. 3 for 5 from the field, 0 for 2 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 2 steals, and 6 points. So one of the more productive players for the Crimson Storm on this particular night. As Jones goes 1 for 2 on her free throw attempt. And with that, Carolina will take it up, looking for a pass, travels in the process, gives the ball back to the Bisons. With this possession, we'll reach the 3-minute mark. Left to go in this ball game as nothing seemed to go right for the Crimson Storm today, except for that one. There's a steal by Carolina, who lays it up and in. So a couple of bright spots like that one, but otherwise it was all Harding here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Another offensive foul by the Bisons. Bison scored 28 in the first quarter, holding SNU to only 4 points in the first quarter, and it took SNU 3 quarters to get up to the first quarter production by the Bison. So the Crimson Storm trying to cut into this lead. So at this point, you would think that Coach Tim Kirby is doing everything he can to work the clock and get some more experience, as that is up. That was by Heidebrecht. A 3 from Heidebrecht gets it to go. So Heidebrecht will add to her total. And there is a timeout on the floor. We'll take one with them. We'll conclude this game when we come back here at SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Crimson Storm down 41-85. 44-point deficit with just over 2 minutes to go in the ball game. It's Chapman looking around. A skip pass back to Chapman. Finds inside. It's fouled up and go. As she was going up, that's number 22, Sierra Roberts, 5'6" junior out of Galveston, Texas. That will send Roberts to the line and try and get her first points of the game, which she does. Hits the front end of the free throw attempt. And hits the second. 2 for 2 for Roberts. So Harding once again just trying to work on offense as a 3 off the front end. As Janae Nadeau, ball's on the floor, goes back to Harding, is able to kick it back out. Number 15, Hannah Jamison, putting forth some extra effort. Jamison driving in, finds Heidebrecht. Another 3 for Heidebrecht. Gets it to go. Same spot, same result. Finds down low. That's Perez. And she is fouled going up. So Perez will go to the free throw line for 2 shots. Front end rolls into the basket. And then officially you can see that Harding has doubled SNU's offensive output today. She hits the back end as well, 2 for 2 on that attempt. And now Harding driving forward, doing everything in their power to keep this one sane. And we are just under 1 minute here as another fast break by Michaela Eisler, excuse me. Put some more points on the board for SNU, who cut it to 41 points. So a rough night for the Crimson Storm. It's about to come to an end. It's Harding just working the offense. Another 3. That one doesn't get to go. Rebounded by Williams, who is going to drive in and gets the and one. That's the first and one. That's the first and one attempt for the Crimson Storm tonight. And cuts it to 39. First time it's been under 40 points since the third quarter. She puts the and one and converts it. And so that will just about do it, as the shot clock is now turned off, and so Harding will just kind of dribble it out and end this game. 38-point victory for the Bisons, winning 88-50 as the game is now under 10 seconds. It's just going to drain out, and that's going to do it for us here in Bethany for the girls' game. Rough night for SNU. Some final stats for you here. Harding led in every single quarter except the fourth quarter. Harding jumped out to a great lead, 28-4 at the end of the first quarter, then 17-11 points in the second, 28-15 in the third, and SNU finally got on the good end of a quarter, winning the fourth quarter 20-15. However, it was all Harding for the rest of the night, winning 88-50. The leading scorer on the night for both teams was number 30, Carolyn Hogue, with 19 points on the night. Behind her was number 14, Andrea Haney, with 15, and behind her it was number 21. Trying to find her name right here. It's Sydney Layrock, who had 14 on the night. The leading, only one player for the Crimson Storm was in double digits tonight, and that was Mariah Williams with 10 points. Crimson Storm shot 28.6% from the field, 10% from beyond from beyond the arc, only hitting 1, courtesy of Williams. One bright spot for the Crimson Storm, they outshot the Bisons from the charity stripes nearly 62%, as opposed to Harding's 56%. So that'll just about do it for us for the women's game. Once again, here in about 20 minutes, the men will take on the Harding Bisons here in the Sawyer Center. And just a reminder, also starting at 7:30 at the same time as the boys is the regional game for the SNU volleyball team. They take on the number 1 team in the country, Concordia St. Paul, in Concordia St. Paul, Minnesota. It's going to be a great night for SNU athletics. Keep it right here. When we come back, it'll be Tanner Stiles and Connor McKenzie on the call for the men's game. Stay here on SNUathletics.com, and as always, keep those bolts up.